we can expect in this game coming up, Game 4.
Well, this matchup is very difficult because normally standard ramp druid builds, they don't have the comeback mechanisms. They only have the swipe, which is not the greatest AoE in the game. It's actually far from it. And your best chance to win versus Hunter with the standard build is to get Innervate, Keeper of the Grove, and be able to kill like Undertaker or silence Undertaker on turn 2. Like really like cheat in something with Innervate. Well, specifically Keeper, and then maybe follow up with another Keeper or another Innervate into Belcher. Like build up before Hunter actually starts dealing damage, and be the aggressor. But cards like Freezing Trap can actually checkmate you, kind of, where you have this big minion you just played for 7 mana, and Hunter plays Freezing Trap, continues attacking, and when you attack, you basically
Yeah.
lose turn 5, like turn 7. A very tough matchup. It is winnable, but it's definitely not 50-50. Well, depending on the build. We've seen Tice NL previously tweaking the Druid to have a better chance versus Hunter, running cards like Harrison Jones to be able to counter the board. Maybe Senjin Shieldmaster. Well, I don't know which deck Theude running. He might be running a mech with not many taunts, or just a standard ramp. But why would you then bring so many decks to counter control? Did he think that?
True. Yeah,
So
that's an interesting point. Well, we'll see. He saved it for last. We'll see what it means. Does it mean that it was just he thought it was a completely bad matchup no matter what tweaks he brought against Hunter, or is it because maybe it was kind of his go-to last draw in any matchup during this week of Deckwars? We'll jump right in. So far, we're looking at 2 Force of Nature and Ragnaros for the Druid.
that's not a good start. Where Force of Nature sometimes is a good removal card if you can use Innervate and maybe play it on 4. Like even on 6, you can kill 3 minions with it. You definitely want to mulligan it. You want this Innervate Keeper, possibly. Wrath, maybe, to deal with the board. Wild Growth is interesting. It can help versus Hunter if you get a lot of taunts, like Druids of the Claw, Sludge Belcher. Right now, Theude's hand is not that exciting. And on Kaldi's side,
It's quite exciting. He has cards to play every turn again. He has a King Mukla for turn 3. He has the coin. And so he's just going to start it off with the Clockwork Gnome. Now, Wrath was drawn from the mulligan here, or from the first turn for Theude. And he has 2 shades now, but the Wild Growth is going to be the answer going forward.
Shade might be useful, but then his mana curve is awkward because on turn 3 he will have 4 mana. He can only play the Shade. Where Kaldi is just doing what he's doing. It's coining Makala, building up the fantastic board here.
Oh, man. Yep, he saw, no minions played early, no Innervate, nothing like that coming out. The Wild Growth is going to mean it's going to take a little bit more time for Theude. So the King Mukla, now the bananas are looking very stale for Malfurion here. Not going to do much with them. Yeah, I
Both
mean, I
players
think we're in a similar position that we've been in all the previous games, right?
yeah, it's like Kaldi is the one dictating the game terms. It's like he's asking questions, and it's Theude having answers. Like Kaldi is, okay, I have those minions. I'm going to attack you with those minions. Can you stop me? Can you interact with those minions? And apparently Theude can't. I mean, one of the best answers to King Makla is having BGH, double the banana on Makla and play BGH, but Theude doesn't have mana for that. He doesn't even have the BGH in his hand. So right now just Shade and banana, and that's it. And he's still reactive, not doing anything. He is stating this minion, but Kaldi doesn't care about it. He's just going to deal damage. He picks up an Undertaker, and wow, that's just, again, building up the board and then setting up more questions. Can you answer this board now?
Yeah, this is already looking pretty grim. 7 damage to face. Now, the Mukla can be dealt with, and then you can silence Undertaker now that he drew the Keeper of the Grove. He has enough mana if he uses a second banana on the Shade.
I think like using your raft, like at this point you don't care about drawing cards that much. You just need to limit the number of damage and be able to take over the board with your minions at some point. But so I feel like roughing the 2/3 and then buffing
The
the
shade.
shade, trading with
Yeah.
the so that board is you still have like 21 points of health. It's something. It's not that you're dying, and you're facing only 2 minions, a 2/2 mad scientist, and a 2/1 clockwork gnome. Where next turn you will be able to potentially silence the scientist or kill it with Keeper of the Grove, and shapeshift the 2/1 and face whatever Kaldi is going to play. But Kaldi is getting low on cards, so that's probably what Theude is going to do.
Yeah, if he goes for the Wrath, he should be able to shapeshift the 2/1 here, so just bring it down just to the scientist, like you mentioned.
The only hope for Theude is to put like minions on board that are strong enough to be able to. Wait, he had the mana also. Oh, he also had the mana to kill the gnome.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely that's not bad for Theude. He still has a way to come back this game. To come back in this game where Ancient of Lore is going to heal him at some point if he draws into it. And but he needs those minions to counter the field. Sylvanas is one of them. Keeper. Oh, picking up the Innervate is also important.
Yeah, it's gonna allow him to develop some more plays here, but nothing too immediate this turn with the Innervate. Now, the Keeper definitely, and with the Knife Juggler out, now it's not a straightforward choice anymore. Do you just kill the Juggler because that's kind of the more immediate source of damage?
Yeah, I think you just kill the Juggler because it's just dealing with one of the threats, and Mad Scientist is not doing that much damage, and you can't be too concerned about the trap right now, especially where maybe the trap, the secret that's going to be procced from Mad Scientist can give you a freezing, which will allow you to play the Keeper again.
Very true.
Kaldi having a bit of a bad hand here. He has this Pilot Sky Golem, which will be amazing on turn 6, but for now he just he needs to decide what to do. If he wants to abuse hero power, definitely play a bow, but then do hero power to freeze.
I guess he's just gonna attack the face now. He knows that he can't leave the room for the Ancient of Lore to come out for Theude. Already down to 9.
He picks up at Son. That's important. He wants that heal at some point because Kaldi, he just has this hero power that's going to grind Theude down. And the chance for Theude is to really start developing the board, stopping the Hunter, giving himself a turn or two, and maybe then stealing the win with Savage Roar.
Well, the taunt plus, hero power is definitely going to have to come out here for Theude.
I'm thinking if is he thinking about Sylvanas as well? Like Theude has this immediate threat of Mad Scientist, but then Kaldi will have 6 mana next turn, and Theude knows that Kaldi's playing Savannah Highmanes, Piloted Sky Golems. So if he just goes for the Druid of the Claw as it's on here, and then Savannah Hyman is being dropped, he might be in trouble. So he was probably thinking about Sylvanas as well. And another thing that he has to think about is that if you attack, do you attack first? Do you unstealth the shade? Like, what's the order? I think this is a safe play. Like he was able to deal with the Mad Scientist. He was able to deal some damage, and he has this taunt to protect himself from the bow, and then some incoming damage.
All right, so that's made Kaldi's turn a little bit more difficult. No immediate win here, and if he wants to continue to use hero power, it's definitely going to be a bit iffy. So looks like the Sky Golem may just be the way to go. He's still okay on health, but like you said, Savage Roar, something to always be looking out for.
So how much damage it is with Savage Roar? Right now it's with Shade of Naxxramas will be 4, 8, 10 plus 8, that's 18, and he has a freezing trap. So I think developing Sky Golem is the correct decision. What you could also do is unleash the hounds and deal with the bear, and then develop another bow, or maybe just use hero power and play a gnome.
All right. Now, swipe drawn for Theude and the freezing trap. So, like you said, you know, he did have the chance to do, you know, try to use Keeper of the Grove again, and I think that's definitely the way you test it. Because even if it's explosive, it's gonna die anyway. So that's the one to sacrifice for the secret test here.
The Keeper of the Grove is one of the most important cards in this matchup for the Druid. You need that silence, and you need the ability to be able to deal damage. Also, one of the best cards to actually get back to your hand with the freezing trap. Right now, he also has to decide: do I feel safe against this golem, or do I want to kill it? Because Theude is on a clock, and you are staring at a clock with his hero power. So he doesn't have a heal in his hand.
Oh, so they'll Sylvanas now. And I guess he's just going to attack face then. Yep.
Wait, it's 11 health. Is that lethal? That's no 5. That's lethal now. Oh my god, Kaldi actually top deck lethal.
Oh wow, with the kill command, yeah, because he's gonna get the beast from the hounds. I mean,
well, I have to say it's again a situation where Theude makes the smart play of just playing to put himself in a position to win the game instead of just passively trading with the piloted Sky Golem and giving Hunter more time to draw into kill commands and stuff. But again, Kaldi just gets what he needs, and you know, Hunter is such an amazing deck because it just follows through with this simple strategy. You want to, and it uses all the interactions with the cards as well. Like you have kill commands that works with that work with beasts. You have those undertakers that work with the Defrauls. You have a good early start with Defraudal cards. Then you have the big guys like Savannah Highmane and Pilot Shredder. So a fantastic deck that is like you can counter it, but then we go back to the banning process where Kaldi bans the warrior, and Theude didn't really have a way to stop the hunter after warrior was banned.
Very true. So yeah, like I said, you know, earlier, if we see Kaldi kind of take the sweep, well, we have to consider in hindsight where did the bans really come from. But at the same time, I mean, it's been actually in Deckwars, it's been a little while since we've seen this, but including both the hunter and the warlock, right? So it's like, which do I ban? Both of them could steal the entire match. I think just a good setup from Kaldi. I'm a little bit sad we didn't get to see the other decks from Kaldi, because that would have been interesting to see, especially with still GVG being developed. But maybe we can ask him, because we will have a winner's interview. I think we'll take a quick break before we come back, and we'll get to speak with Kaldi from Fnatic, the winner of Week 5 of Deckwars. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, everyone, as we come to a winner's interview a little bit earlier than usual because we had a 4-0 sweep from none other than Kaldi from Team Fnatic. So congratulations are in order, Kaldi. How do you feel?
I'm really happy. This is the perfect way to start off the year, I feel. Yeah. Been training a lot, so it's a lot of work coming together.
Awesome, awesome. Of course, you know, I got to speak with you a couple weeks back as we met on Tabletop Turn 2, and you said, you know, you're going to focus a little bit more on creating content and focusing a lot more just spending time with Hearthstone. And, you know, 2015, like you said, you're kicking it off with a win here in Deckwars. Now, you know, we will say, I think, from the very beginning, we just kind of want to rewind to the very beginning of the match. Nimsh and I were both a little bit curious about the bans from both players. But what were your thoughts as you went in? And you banned, of course, Warrior, and then you saw your Prius being banned.
Well, in practice, I don't know. I went on ladder, and I seemed to win almost every game with Hunter. And it kind of felt... We tested it out a few scenarios with the bans. And if I was banning Warrior, I basically... I mean, most people have like maybe one or two decks that are good against Hunter, one of them being Warrior, maybe a Paladin, something like that, Priest or something like that. usually not both at the same time. So it felt like if I banned warrior, I would have one matchup where I'm like 40% favored, so slightly unfavored to win. But if I win that matchup, I can just sweep, you know. So it felt, it felt really like, if I just get the warrior out of the way, I can have a very good chance of going 4-0. And in general, I mean, it's really strong and versatile deck, so it's just good to get that out of the way for me.
But
Right on.
on the other hand, your build is a bit well. Let's say not different because every build is being played. But can you take us through your deck list a bit? Like we've seen the Clockwork Gnomes, we've seen King Makla, we've seen Pilot the Shredder. So it's like, is it stable? Because how are you running like 2 Piloted Shredders and double Savannah High main? Like what was happening there?
The Sky Golems, right?
Oh yeah,
I
yeah,
was
Sky Golems, yeah, that's the one.
I was going quite back and forth on that. I wanted to have like 2 Savannah Hymens and one other big minion. I tried out Troxor, I tried out Dr. Boom, I tried out even Ravenholt Assassin for a bit, which was horrible. But yeah, Cairn, Sylvanas, and Sky Golem, and it felt, I don't know, like the Savannah is just so overpowered at the moment, just way overpowered. So I mean, Sky Golem is like a mini version of that. It's not as good, but it's close, I guess. It felt, I don't know, the Ravenholt just didn't do anything. Like the Dr. Boom just always kind of got BGH'd, you know, and sometimes you're behind against Su, etc. So Troxor is kind of irrelevant there, but so I just kind of gravitated towards the Sky Golem. I managed to get top 10 with this list. It's been working really well at the moment. But yeah, I mean, the Mukla, it's mostly for Druids. It can really, you know, get the game rolling. As I mean, even in that case, like you saw him play it twice. I think once he buffed a Shade twice, so it's 5 mana to kill a 3 mana minion, and in the other one, I believe he used used it twice, 2 bananas on the mana worm. He couldn't trade it in because he played it on the turn. I was kind of lucky with that knife juggler, I guess. But I mean, still, if it were 50-50, if he just trades 5-5, 5-5, so it's on worst case scenario it's even. So but on best case scenario you can really roll the game, and it's also like against Shaman it feels like you can often even bait a hex, and if you bait a hex it's just, you know, almost game over if you get a Savannah Hyman on the board. So it's been working really well, yeah.
That looks like a very strong list. Can you tell us, like, I'm sure a lot of viewers and people are actually very curious how to counter this deck, because everybody's like, counter is so strong. And you said that Warrior was one of the decks to counter and you banned it. Like, what are the other ways to counter? And is Warrior really a good counter against this kind of deck?
It's about 50-50, which is, I guess, pretty laughable. But I don't know. It depends. Like I played at Tifinity Pro tournament this weekend, or Tifinity Premium, I think it's called, and I kind of got smashed there. Like it kind of just depends on draws. If you get an impossible scenario, you can often come behind. Like I came from behind with nothing on turn 1 into, I think he went and he went Manaverm Undertaker, but in the game 2 and 3, like I had a scenario where he went Zombie Chow into Innovate Keeper, killing my Knife Juggler, or I guess coin Hunter Creeper into Innovate Knife Juggler, Innovate Keeper to kill the Knife Juggler. So that really just messes you up. A good Druid hand. I played a bit versus Cypher. Went 8-0 with a Hunter, but then he started to play in 2 best of 7s to prepare for this. But then he went for a Priest list that he's been playing, and that just absolutely demolished me 4-0. So I think Priest is quite good. Okay. Yeah, I'd say Priest is the best way, I guess, and very good draws from Druid.
Right on. Yeah, so again, obviously we saw the power, the benefits that this deck can bring you with your 4-0 sweep. At the same time, we talked a little bit about your bans for the Warrior, specifically for your Hunter. But aside from that, commonly kind of Warlock, even before GVG, right? Warlock's kind of been the go-to deck to ban just because of its versatility. What do you think about that? Neither of you guys actually banned Warlock today.
I've been banning Warlock probably for 8 months now. Every single tournament, every single scenario. But at the moment, it feels like, I don't know, I'm very comfortable with Warrior against both Su and Huntlock. I'm very comfortable with Hunter against both Su and Huntlock, you know? So, I don't know, I wasn't that afraid of Huntlock or Su, so I just kind of feel like Warrior is a stronger deck to fear at the moment. Maybe if someone brings a Demon Lock or Dark Vonix starts to yeah, make that crazy deck happen, I guess. But yeah, at the moment I'm just more afraid of the warrior.
Yeah, Dark Onyx's Warlock deck is definitely still something people are trying to wrap their heads around when they saw it at ESL. But once, Nimsh, do you have any other questions? Because that's all for me. I mean, the games went by quite quickly, actually.
Well, the only question will be who helped you to test, but you said like you were testing with Cypher, you played some tournaments before, so well, maybe like a general question: how did you prepare for this particular show match? Like, are you playing ladder a lot? Are you mostly testing with friends, like playing in all the tournaments you can find?
I'm playing relatively few online events. There's not a lot going on now. It's been kind of quiet with the holidays going on, but been playing a lot of ladder, a lot of any ladder as well, and a lot of testing custom games. I'm like probably 60% ladder, 40% custom games at the moment. Been testing with Green Sheep, testing with Jackie, testing with Blackout, and Cypher, and big shout outs to those guys for helping me out.
Awesome, awesome. Well, congratulations once again. And do you have any other shout outs? You just gave shout outs, of course, to the guys who's helped you prep.
I mean, to my team, just want to also give a shout out to the series I'm starting. First video coming out tomorrow, I believe. Starting with a lot of puzzles I've been collecting, kind of crazy scenarios, try to figure out lethal, figure out the best play, etc. And we're also looking at starting a King of the Hill series soon. That's coming up next week, but it's all on YouTube.tv, youtube.com/fanatictv. So check that out. Also streaming regularly now, ashub.tv/Kaldi. But yeah.
Awesome, awesome. Good to see and glad to hear that we're going to see a lot more content from you and Fnatic Hearthstone in general. So congratulations once again. Of course, thank you, Nimsh, for joining this week to cast Deckwars Week 5. This was Chobra here for Deckwars powered by Kingwin. And don't go anywhere if you like Hearthstone, because right on this channel, we're actually going to jump right into Turn 2, a talk show where we discuss everything Hearthstone. Thanks for watching, everyone, and we'll see you guys next week.